Oh gosh. I saved another question, and this one was, why don't engineers rule the world? And as you can see, it's since been removed. Uh, but I saved it anyways. The question is, why don't engineers rule the world? And they used a throwaway account. And the question was, and it got removed, but it's a good question, so that's why it's on the podcast. Engineers from all fields already kind of rule the world from a technical standpoint already, but we are at the whim of politicians and business people in all other aspects. We all know the difficult problems the world faces, and we are all motivated and smart enough to tackle them. The only thing stopping us is bureaucracy and money not going towards the right projects. I understand that is what politicians are for, but that clearly has not been working out. I always believe that engineers in all fields are always paid the most because they are hard to replace and find. However, I'm starting to think that they are paid the most to keep them in line. If engineers nationwide started getting paid less, it would have drastic consequences. The people that know the most, are the most passionate, and are the most capable would have reason to revolt and can do substantial damage to all aspects of industry. So they pay us large amounts so that we continue working for them rather than taking over control ourselves. How far are we going to let these things get worse before we come in and fix it ourselves? Why are we letting the greedy and idiots of the world make the decisions for the world that we created? Why haven't we done anything to stop this? We are fewer in numbers, but we already have agents in every aspect of the world and can tear it down from within easily. Why shouldn't we be dictating the direction of humanity? This is a genuine question, as it boils my blood every time I'm reminded of some moron in charge of something he doesn't understand. We need to rise up and take what is ours in this world. Nice. I hope y'all like the way that I read that, by the way. Um, I'd say, first of all, these engineers are involved in the, just look at the business level. I think that there's a statistic on this, but most Fortune 500 CEOs have engineering degrees. With Like, there was a whole article about this. Um, like, here you go. Why do many engineering students become Fortune 500 CEOs? Um, Most top performing CEOs now have engineering degrees than MBAs. Most common majors of Fortune 500 CEOs, engineering. I mean, the rise of engineer turned CEOs. Can engineers become CEOs? I'd say that engineers are making a lot of the decisions in the world. And maybe these are engineers that have different levels of scope of understanding of what they're doing. For example, um, they're not going a CEO engineer might not know how to design XYZ thing or XYZ sub process, but they know that that sub process goes into bigger processes, and then they make know how that interfaces with their business cases and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think engineers already kind of do run the world. Now there is the politicians, and when I say about that, that kind of frustrates me too. I'll be honest that there's these politicians that in my head um don't I don't understand why they do the things they do, but my philosophy with that is I don't know what I don't know. And I don't want to. It's dangerous, right, to have an arrogant mentality about how useful and valuable somebody else's way of existing or making a living is. I feel like um, I think that these politicians do add tremendous value, and it is simply we just don't know. We don't know what they're doing for us. There's just so many things that are going on, and I couldn't do half the things that all of our politicians do. So I would not want to do that kind of thing. So um, why haven't we done anything to stop this? We're fewer in numbers, but we already have an agent in every aspect of the world and can tear it down from within easily. I mean, I don't. I think that's such an elitist mentality. I don't think that engineers are the best for everything. Now, engineers teach you how to solve problems, and yeah, engineers that learn and and try to familiarize themselves with the subject matter that they want to work in. An engineer that's passionate about global politics probably could be good at global politics, but not. I don't want Chad, the bridge designer, negotiating a prisoner swap with a foreign country. Uh, I'm just saying. So, and also, I don't think that engineers get paid the most. Um, I'd say that people that work their way up in the ranks in the companies are probably the ones that are making the most money. Um, I just I don't know. I just don't understand this. This was just an interesting question. I mean, here's the other thing. Um, Engineers, they get paid really well, but the engineer is not the only one that is valuable in a company. And I think that it's a really toxic mentality to have that kind of superiority complex as an engineer working for a company, because all those jobs exist because they're important for the business case. So what I'd take away from this, if I was talking to a young engineer that might have this mentality, is that you need to recognize value and you need to be humble whenever you work with your coworkers and you talk to your coworkers about what they do, and that humility, will go a long way for you in your career. Valuing others, under trying to understand and find the value in other things around you and why things are done the way they are, even if you don't think that their degree to get to that position was as rigorous, is a really good way to help yourself be a better employee. So I would, if you have this mentality or a similar mentality to this of elitism as an engineer over other roles in the company, I highly encourage you to just take the time to talk to other people and learn about what they do, what it adds to the company, and that will make you a better employee and therefore a better engineer for the company you work with. So,
Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.